Well, just in case, okay, someone mentioned about my LaMonster GasCap. I'm hoping that it is viewable. I'm working on a inside helmet camera mount, and what I had going was not quite long enough, so I got most of the bike and no road when I took it for a ride. But basically, the original GasCap means that you have to take the key out of the ignition and unlock it and then hold it up. And if you look at the nozzles on the California gas stations and probably other stations, you can't get the nozzle compressed and in there easily enough, and I found it to be a pain. And so basically it just really wasn't easy to pump gas. So I decided, when I saw the LaMonster pump, or the LaMonster GasCap, I thought it's a no-brainer. It took me about 40 minutes to install. It doesn't need to be locked because, I mean, if I'm going to steal gas, I'm going to steal gas from a container that has a whole lot of gas to steal. These tanks hold 7 gallons, but you're not going to be guaranteed to have a full tank. So, well, I get to go for a ride. I'll do a little video. Last weekend, I did just over 900 miles up to Northern California, and I had a really good time. I wish I could say it was sweet. It was interesting. Highway 5 was, I avoided most of it. I went up to the Vallejo area on the freeways, and then I cut over to the Napa area, and went up Highway 29 and through Napa and Clear Lake, and some of the roads up there are fantastic. I forgot to put my camera on, and then on the way home, my max camera was on my dash, but my windscreen was a little dusty, and it really didn't get good video. So I'm gonna have to try and do that ride again sometime soon. But currently I'm just doing a short ride, sort of around the block, to get a video in. One of the subjects is gas mileage. I've seen a few people talk and ask questions about how many miles they get on their tank. This particular 2021 F3 has a 7-something gallon gas tank, and with the new dash it kind of gives you an idea how many miles you've got, but it's not accurate. I found that I sort of tend to look for a gas station when I'm down to about 35 miles, and when I've done it, I have found that I had almost 2 gallons left. So one time I did get 219 miles, and I had 0.8 of a gallon of gas left. So I could have done another maybe 20 miles, 25 miles. So it's a pretty good, but my butt just says, okay, stop, take off, have a drink, relax, get some gas. and it's no big deal. I don't really need to go from tank to tank. I used to. I actually got rather good at running out of gas. The one time I did it, I was coming home from a camping trip, and I said, I'll get gas when I transition from this highway to that highway. But there was no gas station. So I just kept going. And then it started sputtering, and I'm like, oops, I forgot to get gas. So I sputtered off on an off-ramp. The light was just turning yellow, and I got through that and down the little slope of the overpass. And that light turned red, but I coasted through because there was no traffic. And just coasted. I was out of gas. Momentum. I coasted into the gas station. My other time, I got all the way home, and then the next morning went to go to work, and as the engine was warming up, it sputtered and died. And I'm like, uh-oh, I guess I'm not going to work on the bike today. And I had to physically back it up the drive, and it was a Goldwing, and I've gotten good at it, but you put your hip into the saddlebag and you push it back. I backed it back into the garage, got the gas can, and went to work, and on the way home got some gas. But those were the two times when I ran out of gas and got lucky. One other time I wasn't so lucky. It was when I had my first Spider, an ST, and I really didn't know too much about it, and instead of really trying to find out, I kind of guessed, and I guessed wrong. And I found myself on the side of the highway calling AAA. So I decided, it's not that big a deal. Stop when you're really getting low. The little warning light comes on. And if you really need to, I've learned that I can actually do probably another 60 miles. When it says I've got 35 miles left, I can pretty much figure I got another 60 miles. So I know I can, but I figure, what the heck, there's a Chevron that's stuck. I like Chevron gas. I like using my phone to pay for gas. Don't have to touch the pump pretty much at all, other than the nozzle, which comes to another subject. The OEM gas cap on the Spider F3s is, I was hoping it would be a key where you key it in and you pop the whole thing off. Well, you don't. You flip it open. It doesn't disappear, becomes a big lump in the way. And for those of us in California and other states that have the vapor nozzle, some of them are really short. They're not so bad. Some of them are really long, and you have to hold it beyond a certain point so that it will pump gas. And I found that the really long ones, even the shorter ones, are a pain when it comes to this key locking lump in the way. And I've got a video that shows what I'm talking about that I'll insert about here. So I'm going to do the ride and maybe show a little bit of the excerpts once I get into the curvy, twisty bits. So now I'm in a prettier part of where I live. This is a nice little road to ride on. As I was mentioning, I have learned to stop before I really need to get gas. I figure I can probably do about 230 miles if I'm taking it easy. if I'm on the freeways around here, I'm lucky if I get maybe 190 miles. People don't go slow. Speed limit 65 unless you're on 5, and then it's 70, but people tend to do about 10 to 15 miles faster. So when you're doing 80 plus miles an hour, you tend to use more gas than normal. I would prefer to take it easy. That's why I like these little back roads. I enjoyed the trip up to Napa, and I can't wait to do it again. And lately, because I live in the Bay Area on the peninsula, to get anywhere, I have to take what's known as 580 or 80 or 101 north and south. That's it. There are back roads, but they're not exactly fast back roads. But I'm finding that I'm trying as darned as possible to find an alternate way to get where I'm going, but that I don't really want to take all day, because when you're meeting with friends, you need to get there in a timely manner. So I am trying to avoid some of the major traffic jams, because I mean, the pandemic is still in effect to a point, and companies aren't going to fully go back to work, especially in the Bay Area, until sometime next year. So traffic isn't quite up to where it was, but it's getting there. And the getting there is not fun. So when it finally gets back up to full blown traffic, I am probably going to have to ride at nighttime to be able to get anywhere at a reasonable time, because I mean, traffic, I remember a radio station that would give out traffic reports every hour, once every hour, then it was once every half an hour, then it was once every 15 minutes, and then it was once every 10 minutes, and then every 5 minutes. And the last time I heard, they were pretty much talking traffic and trying to put a little news and talk, because it was a talk show. But they were trying to put a little news and talk radio in amongst the traffic, because it's so much of it. And the one thing that's really got me up is the fact that there's more townhouses, condos, and apartments being built. They're taking down 2-story versions and putting up 4-story. And that means twice as many people in the same area, and they're putting up more in areas that there weren't any before. So there's an awful lot more people here, and unfortunately my roommate, my mom, my 96-year-old mom, is quite comfortable. She doesn't go anywhere. I'm the one that has to go places to get shopping. So I know what it's like. I would love to move. She's pretty settled, so I'm gonna have to be patient. This is what's known as a Rastadero Road. It goes up into the Portola Valley of the hills, local foothills of the Santa Cruz Mountains. It's a road that motorcycles take. This, not so much. Basically, they want to get up into Skyline Boulevard, which is up at the top of the mountains. I tend to avoid that road a lot because Nowadays, the police, they don't chase you. They radio ahead. And these bikers, who some think they're racers, they wear the full leather and race up there, and yeah, they gotta keep an eye on them and slow them down. Had to be careful there. Those horses were driving blind. I guess they're trusting that the rider's going to tell them where to go because they can't see to put their feet down. So I'm not sure, because the horse does want to look and make sure where they're going and they don't step in a hole. But I guess that the traffic, maybe they take the hoods off when they get to the other side of traffic, but they're a little jittery when there's traffic moving by. It's possible. I'm trying to take it easy. There's other horses up here, more construction going in. Wasn't I just talking about construction? I just thought of it. I saw a video of someone doing a review of the new Senna. He calls it Cena. The new, ST? And he found that it would not pair to his Goldwing, his 2018 Goldwing. And that he found that no matter what he tried, he couldn't get it to pair. So he worked with Senna and got a updated firmware. It pairs, but it still is tricky. And I find the same thing with my Cardo. I don't know whether it's the updated firmware or what, but I turn it on and I need to hear connected to phone 1 or it's not connected, and I want my music to play and the system tells me you need to connect the headset. I'm like, well, I did, or at least I thought I did. So I have to turn it off and then turn it on again. And sometimes I've had to do it a couple times to get it to work. I can smell the barbecue. That place I just passed on the left smells delicious. So, after this vehicle, I am going to, well, thank you for telling me you're turning. I do wish people would learn how to use that little stick that comes out of the left side of the steering column. It would be so much nicer, but this place, even on a weekday, it's got a crowd of people. I've had lunch there a few times. So basically, when it comes to pairing the headset, you pair it, but I don't know why. Bluetooth is still quirky, and you just have to pair it and unpair it, turn it on and off a couple times. Sometimes, most of the time, it pairs perfectly fine. But on the odd occasion, I've noticed, I'm not hearing any music, and it doesn't seem to think that there's a headset pair, so just turn it on and off. You need to learn how to touch the buttons on your headset. And I found that the different gloves, some of them are so stiff that you can't feel the buttons, especially on the Cardo. I do have a Senna. It's got the nice big button, and you can feel a button on the back that turns it on and off. So in a way, I like the Senna better because you can work with it with gloves on. But I like the Cardo because it's waterproof and just looks sleeker. especially the new black one. But yeah, there's some little rigidy buttons that I have to hit. Some say you just hit the one. I found that doesn't seem to work. I have to hit both buttons to get it to come on. And I'm thinking that when I get a chance, I'll maybe reinstall the firmware. But my problem is when I'm on the bike and I think of a problem on the bike or something, I think of it. But as soon as I get off the bike, the problem is no longer a problem. So I forget. So I got to take it easy around here. This is another one of the areas, Portola Valley, where you really got to go the speed limit, because there's somebody hiding someplace and they might decide to have a chat with you. No school kids are present, so I'm good at 35, I think. One of the things I like with the Genius maps is that it has a little speedometer. It tells you what the speed limit is for the road you're on. Cygic will chime in when you're going a certain amount over the speed limit. So I like to just see it, look down and go, oh, speed limit's 35. So the problem with Genius right now is when I go to make a route, I touch areas that I want to add waypoints to, and the route doesn't change. So I'm a little concerned whether or not it will actually take me the way I want to go. But Cygic is actually working fantastic. It worked for me the whole weekend and didn't have one hiccup. And when I moved the route to another road, the highlighted route changed. So I'm back to using Cygic. I'm finding Rever to sort of work, but you need cell service to get the map data. And my workaround for the app not showing a record button in the dash, when I first started using it, what you saw on the phone would show up on the dash, and now that it works again, you don't see that record button. All you see is if you push the joystick up, you see a little bar with I think a search button and a favorite heart button and a settings button. And with the settings, you can actually add a radar map overlay, which would show you radar, which is sweet. The workaround for not having a record button and forgetting to start recording before I plugged it in is I set up a route to my local gas station, and then I tell it to navigate me there, and starting any route will automatically start tracking the route. If you want, you can mute it so it doesn't bug you to turn around, turn around, turn around. But you can also, after a while, actually deactivate the navigation, but it'll keep tracking. But basically, the original GasCap means that you have to take the key out of the ignition and unlock it and then hold it up. And if you look at the nozzles on the California gas stations and probably other stations, you can't get the nozzle compressed and in there easily enough, and I found it to be a pain. And so basically it just really wasn't easy to pump gas. So I decided, when I saw the LaMonster pump, or the LaMonster GasCap, I thought it's a no-brainer. It took me about 40 minutes to install. It doesn't need to be locked because, I mean, if I'm going to steal gas, I'm going to steal gas from a container that has a whole lot of gas to steal. These tanks hold 7 gallons, but you're not going to be guaranteed to have... I believe that it's still tracking. I found that it did that before, so it should still be tracking my route. I'm talking about Rever. So, stop, turn the bike off. I tend to use my phone to pay for gas, especially when I'm at a Chevron. So there's my route. It didn't stop the route. I can finish it because I'm good. Didn't do too many, only 33 miles. Yep, so I may have to take my helmet off. It tends to like to see some of your face. And let's see if it wants my Face ID. Oh, my Face ID worked. Even with a helmet on, Face ID works. And now I can gas up. So let's take a look at how easy it is to undo the gas cap. I tend to want to push handlebars, undo the gas cap, grab hold of the nozzle with the short. This one is short. Some of them are longer, but you got to push it beyond that notch. Otherwise, it won't pump. So basically, all I do is stick it in there and pump gas. And I mean, it's so easy. It's flat. It's nothing in the way of it. And I don't really need to top off because it will stop automatically at I would figure at the right level. The OEM gas cap it was in the way, and it made it difficult to do what I'm doing. And I know the LaMonster gas cap is a bit expensive. I believe they have a few different looks. There's ones that are all aluminum or something. So, but this is it. I just let it pump until it's finished. And I gotta hold this thing nozzle up. Okay, it stopped. That's it. I'm good. Let it drip out. Some of these vapor nozzles are really shorter than this one, and I found that I do have to put my fingers underneath it to trigger the pump to allow it to pump. I don't know what it is with those, but this kind of nozzle and the longer one are no problem. But the shorter one, yeah, I found that I can't get the nozzle in all the way because there's something down in the tank that prevents me from. So I'm gassed. I'm good. Now I can go home. And that's as easy it is to gas up. So I gotta look at my new passenger. And that's my Spider. Nice magma red. It's weird how it looks orange, but when you take a picture of it, it looks red. And yep, with my Mandalorian helmet, I needed my little buddy